The Joe Rogan Experience.
Here's one that always gets me. Stories of giants.
I want that to be real so bad. I mean, I want all of
That
this
the
to be real.
Smithsonian's been hiding the information. Those are the big conspiracies.
Could be.
Down in their basement, they've got like a 10-foot tall human being. A race of giants that existed, roamed the earth.
Yeah.
David and Goliath's a real story.
It just seems like they wouldn't be gone. They wouldn't be the ones that would have been killed off.
Unless, in the cataclysm, like the Younger Dryas impact theory, there wasn't enough food.
Oh,
and they died off, you know? Because if you're that big, you need to eat a lot.
So you think they were around like way long ago?
Way
and
long
died
ago.
off way long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think like recently. But I think like it is, there's so many stories and so many cultures have these stories, even in the Bible, of a race of giants.
Yeah.
Like it seems like it couldn't just be big people.
Right.
It seems like what they're talking about is something crazy.
I guess it could be if you're just because if you're just mythologizing. There's no way that's a word, but if you're just turning something that is real, this is the same with like a dragon. People obviously just get inspired by things that are around them. They start to morph into things. I mean, there was no fire-breathing animal flying around.
Probably crocodiles and shit like that.
Yeah, crocodiles, and then there are like cobras that spit venom, which obviously gets in your eyes. Probably going to burn like a son of a bitch. So like there's like the fire myth. I mean,
and people exaggerate.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like people will take somebody who is a big son of a bitch and they go, "Oh, well, let's exaggerate and say that the guy he fought was 9 feet tall instead of 6'5".
Exactly.
Which he probably was.
Yeah. But also, when you talk about races of these giants, you could also be talking about like people from Iceland.
Yeah.
Right?
Who were naturally
enormous
big as
Viking
hell.
dudes.
Yeah.
Who were always win those fucking strongman competitions. Those guys there's giants up there. Like 400, like the Mountain from Game of Thrones. Like that kind of person. So you think about that. Like that's that size human.
Right.
There could have been a bunch of those around, and maybe that's what they were talking about, giants. Or there could have been like a specific race of humans. Like they keep finding these additional types of humans. Like they found Denisovans fairly recently, and then that other one that we brought up the other day, the big-headed people, that's fairly recently. They've discovered that this is a completely different branch. That there may, but here's the thing. If they did find those, would they tell us? Like if archaeologists, like who would put the cap on that? If they found like a 10-foot human under like a just gigantic dead human with a huge sword underground, like would they just say we're wrong, giants existed, or would they go people can't handle this?
That's a tough because that's the answer to or that's the question for so many things.
They might say people can't handle it. It's not outside the realm of possibility.
I would say, they'd probably say.
Isn't that infuriating?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if it was you? Now imagine you're out in West Texas, wherever you are, hanging out with your friends, and somebody notices something in the ground, and you start digging, and you pull out a fucking thigh bone that's this big, and you plop it down, and you go, what the fuck is that? And then you got a buddy who works at the university nearby, and he starts digging. He's like, hey, dude, this is a fucking human foot. And he pulls out a human foot that's size 38. And you're like, what is going on, man? And so then you bring in some experts and like, holy shit, dude, this is a giant. And then they do DNA tests. They find out it's a real actual creature.
Yeah. I'm telling everyone.
Yeah. They're going to kill you. They're going to kill you. The scientists will kill you. They're going to run you off the road.
Yeah, I get
Look at
this.
The longest, or I guess would be the tallest
that people have ever found?
That they've ever found. It was found in China. It's supposedly about 4,400 years old. Would have been about 16, 18 years old. The weird thing here is, though, that it says there was 3 drill holes found in the skull, and they don't know why.
Whoa, drill holes. How big was it?
6'4".
Oh.
Oh, fuck me.
Well, back then, that was probably fucking huge.
Well, you said they found it in China?
Yeah.
That's a giant.
And they're calling it, they call it a giant.
Well, it might be Mongolian, you know?
Well,
I
just
just looked
compared
up
to the Chinese that are found, they're probably like, holy shit, this
Goliath
thing's...
is anywhere from modern day, maybe they say up to 6'6", but like taking the word for word from the Bible, it'd have been about 9'9".
Yeah, that's what I always thought. That's what I always
I don't know how
remember
to
as
see
a
a
kid.
weight size.
Right. Well, if you're back then, nobody had any food, and the average man was probably like 5'4". So if you encounter some dude who's 6'6", some big jack guy. That is a giant.
That's a giant.
And then also, like, you got to think human beings, if they exist today and they're 6'6", they had the potential to be that big back then. They just didn't get the food.
Yeah.
But if you are in some very nutrient-rich environment, look at
Yao Ming both those guys played pro basketball.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Is it Muggsy Bogues?
Muggsy Bogues, yeah.
But there's smaller people that exist that can function and do stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is that the potential for that guy, the Yao guy, who's, how tall is he?
7'7", I think.
Right, that exists in the human genome, right? That's not like we engineered them like we did dogs.
Right.
Like, that exists.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe back then, if you had a ton of food and you didn't have to worry about war, like, and people just kept breeding and growing and getting nutrient-rich. Because the thing about people in the past is they didn't have any fucking food, man.
Yeah.
Like, the average size of a guy who fought in the Civil War was, I think, 125 pounds or something crazy like that.
5'4" and 120, I think, is
Nuts.
the thing. Yeah.
Starving to death.
It's like
Starving to death, shooting people with muskets.
Like a 14-year-old girl. I mean, that's
Nuts.
like, yeah.
Right? And all they needed
Yeah.
was food. You know, you give them protein, and then they grow normal sized, which is
Yeah.
really wild.
Yeah. Because there's tons of people that are well over 7 feet. It's not like it is an anomaly compared to
Speaking of, there's one guy in the Civil War 7'6". He would have
7'6".
stood out real big, but everybody else was 5'8", average.
He was
5'8".
7'6" in the Civil War. Holy shit!
Is that? Oh, that's not a picture of him, I guess. Yeah.
Right.
But
never
the
mind.
thing
But
about the stories in the Bible, though, it's like these are like mystical giants, the Nephilim. You know,
Is
look at
he
this
the
guy.
tallest man?
Ohio.
So there you go.
Bro, you do not want to box
Jones.
that guy.
7'6".
7'6".
That's a
well,
big
she
dude.
must be pretty tall.
Yeah.
I mean,
She probably needed to do that big, take care of her.
yeah,
You know
probably.
what I'm saying?
Yeah. She can be in this
The big
5'8"
lady.
guys.
Yeah, she can't be fucking with me.
He's like, what are y'all doing? Yeah.
She'll hold me down. I'll have to fight that lady to the death.
No chance. Yeah.
She needs a big man. She's
Yeah.
a big giant man to fuck her correctly.
Yes.